Yeah. Now, Tabitha, I'm kind of curious about classic cars. Obviously, everyone thinks of the auctions as being the place to pick those up at. What's going on right now? Where are people buying the classic cars that they've been picking up over the past few months?
Yeah, we really haven't seen a tremendous slowing of car buying. It might even be the opposite. People have a lot of time on their hands. They're perusing the internet, and they're coming across those good deals also from people who are just looking to offload some extra weight from their garage. Your platforms like Bring a Trailer are still doing extremely well. What a great concept there, and fun guys to begin with. But most of the sales, especially amongst a younger generation, are all done private sales, and a lot of it's social media, your Facebook Marketplace, your Craigslist, things like that. So this idea is, as even John is saying, of everything online. Now, then you have to do the in-person meet and looking at the cars and the transaction, but it's still a lot of online. As far as the auctions go, Bonham's auctions are one of our partners at Greenwich Concours. I was talking with Rupert Banner from there the other day, and he made a really interesting comment that I hadn't thought about. Asked him how business was going in light of all of the events being canceled. So many of these auction companies are tethered to events that now are canceled. And he says, well, when he came into the business, none of the auctions were done at events. That's a fairly recent thing. And he said, so it's kind of getting back to the basics for them as well. Now it's just all online. And you start to really open your audience as well to a broader group internationally, and just even like this, the Zoom aspect, right? People can tune in from all over. It's breaking down those barriers. So I think the car sales will continue, especially on the classic side, as in a different way. But I think we're going to continue to see a lot of strength in that.
Well, I'm also kind of curious too, because for the past, what, 5 to 10 years almost, it seems like there are so many Asian consumers getting
Mhm.
into the classic car market who are coming here to the US buying cars, some of
Mhm.
them taking them back over there. Has that international buyer shifted? Are there still people out there buying Ferraris?
Oh,
And
there will
even
always be
within,
people out there buying Ferraris, right? Yeah, when you think about it on an annual basis, normal years, less than 3% of collector vehicle sales are done through auctions. Most of them are all private sales. And so a lot of that is still happening, and that will still happen internationally as well. Obviously, there are some challenges with transportation and the shipping side of it, just considering the shutdown of things, right? And we are, of course, seeing challenges of especially your top tier, where somebody's looking to have the vehicle inspected or those aspects before purchase, just figuring out those logistics of people being able to get in, see the car, verify it, all of those. But again, it comes down to individuals as well, what somebody is okay with or how they are able to approach it. So it's shifting, but it's still happening.
curious too, have you seen any shifts in where your buyers are at? Like you look at younger millennial and Gen Zs, and one would presume that the younger people who are buying a higher end classic car might be in more of an urban center. Is that the case or not?
Yeah, it's interesting, and when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my other computer screen. These home office setups are not always ideal here, so I'm pulling from you guys, but I'm looking at my stats, so I'm sure I get it right. But 71% of our millennial policyholders have vehicles in a county that is at least considered 3/4% urban, by the percentage of this population, right? So definitely amongst a younger generation, we're seeing that. For boomers, that percentage is 63% of the urbanization. So it's I think millennials are looking for the fun aspects, right? They're looking for these cars. Jordan, to your point earlier of just moving out of the cities and now having a need for the car. Years ago, we did a study about teenage drivers, right? We all know the sayings of kids don't like cars and nobody's getting their driver's license now. And in our study, we really found that younger people are still interested in driving. They eventually do want a car, but there's all of these other life factors that are delaying that, right? So they're waiting longer to get married, to have families, that need for a car. They're living in larger cities with public transportation until once they decide to move out to a more rural area where they need transportation. And then from a college aspect, a lot of them can't have a vehicle on campus their first couple of years. So they're just delayed in getting that driver's license, ultimately then needing a car to drive.